Welcome on in. Get ready. We are doing Bravo Book Club. It is Bravo Book Club night. Got to take a pic for the thumbnail. Yay. Okay. We are breaking down part 2 of Dave Quinn's Not All Diamonds and Rosé, part 2, which is based on Real Housewives of New York. Did you get lucky? When did I get lucky? Did I get lucky? You missed me. I was just here. On Thursday. Well, I guess it's been a minute. Did I get lucky? When did I get lucky? Was I getting late at some point? When was I getting late? You know, yesterday I thought I looked really fly, and I was really, really disappointed that I did not get late yesterday. But 'tis what it is. Okay, so as I mentioned, we are doing Bravo Book Club, Not All Diamonds and Rosé, part 2. Part 2 is called Bite the Apple, the story behind the Real Housewives of New York City. As you know, we are here live every Tuesday night on Instagram, rebroadcast on YouTube, breaking down a new book for Bravo Book Club every Tuesday night. We are here, so get ready. You were hoping from last week. I don't think I got laid. No. If I was supposed to get laid last week, it didn't happen. Sorry, guys. Okay, so as you know, we are breaking down part 2. Next week, we'll be breaking down part 3. So why don't we dive into it? We're going to recap it. We'll do quiz time at the end. Quiz time will come with a fun giveaway. I think we'll give away some of the new merch. So get ready. Let's get it. Okay. So, starting off with the origin of Real Housewives of New York, the show was originally called Manhattan Moms, and it actually started pre-producing while Behind the Gates was in production. As we know from last week, Behind the Gates was the original title for Real Housewives of Orange County before it became the Real Housewives of Orange County. Now we have Manhattan Moms. And Manhattan Moms, I'm assuming, still fit into that same bucket of the pop culture void that Bravo was looking to fill. Jill Zarin was the initial breakout star that attracted them to do the show because she was real brazen. She was like, yeah, I'm a New York bitch. Snap, snap, pat the puss. Let's get it. And they loved Jill Zarin. She had a big personality. She was the first person cast on the show. Remember, we will be doing quiz time later. Just wink, wink. Jill Zarin was the first housewife cast on the show, and then they ended up moving on and found Alex and Simon, who were doing another show. They were doing a show, I think, about preschools, and everyone was like, who the fuck wants to watch a show about preschools? So obviously that show didn't end up getting greenlit, so then they were open to do Manhattan Moms, which was a show not about preschools, but about kids probably going to other types of schools. Maybe like university schools. We didn't know yet. Manhattan Moms was still in the very early stages. Then we found Ramona and her crazy eyes, and they were like, ooh, Ramona is a who. We got Jill, we got Simon and Alex, we got Ramona, we got a show. Let's do it. So Jill claims that she was the one that introduced them to Bethany. But Bethany, because Bethany was like, hold up, wait a minute, I'm the bee in charge. I'm the biggest, baddest bee in charge. Mirror, mirror, who's the baddest bee? And the mirror's like, it's you, Bethany. Well, Bethany did an interview for the book. She did not. So Simon and Alex didn't do an interview for the book, and Bethany didn't do an interview for the book. So it was really just the beginning was by Lou, Ramona, Jill. Bethany went on her podcast and she was like, hold up, wait a minute. Nope, that's not the deal. I actually was approached by the producers, but not all the producers, because Andy didn't want me, because apparently Andy didn't like Bethany. He didn't like that Bethany had already been on another reality show. She was on The Apprentice, but not the regular Apprentice. She was on The Apprentice Martha Stewart. So she was already on that show, and Andy didn't want, like, at that time, they were like, you don't do reality TV, like, jumping. You don't go from one show to the next show. So we don't want her because she's already been exposed, and we want somebody that hasn't been exposed, you know, like COVID, and we had to make her quarantine. You know what I mean? So according to Jill, though, she was like, I'm the reason I told the producers to go to Bethany because Bethany was really cool. But then Bethany was on her podcast and she was like, yeah, I know I was really cool. And Jill was like a fame chaser, and Jill just wanted to be famous. And I would run into Jill at all these famous events. But like, whatever, Jill. So, but according to both of their accounts, the book and Bethany's podcast both claim that Bethany's boyfriend at the time, who was Jason, not Jason Hoppy, the one that she married and divorced, not Bryn's dad, but the Jason before the Jason that she married. He was apparently the one that really sold her to the producers, because she was even like, I don't want to do reality TV. I'm too good for this. I'm trying to be a natural food chef. I want a show on the cooking channel, and like, fuck that bullshit. And so he was like, no, you need to have her. She's like really cool. She's great, whatever. Eventually, so they ended up moving forward with her and they liked her. And Bethany was like, okay, cool, I'll do this. Maybe I'll get a cooking show on Bravo out of it. So eventually, Manhattan Moms became Real Housewives of New York, and it was an instant hit. Unlike Real Housewives of Orange County, OC, they needed to kind of keep it on repeat. They would run marathons because it wasn't the breakout that they wanted it to be. So one of the strategies that reality shows use, which is now interesting now thinking about Keeping Up with the Kardashians, one of the strategies reality shows use is they try to run the show on marathon. That way it gains more of an audience, because if people don't originally stick in and tune in on Thursday nights, then if they just keep running it and running it and running it, then eventually on a boring Sunday you're like, fuck it, let me just watch this, and then you end up getting hooked because you're like, oh, it's not that bad, I'm interested. So it was an instant ratings hit. Like, the critics loved it, the fans loved it, I guess because they had already had OC, and OC really set the bar low because OC was kind of boring. So New York ended up hitting it out of the park. Then we get into season 2, and season 2, they're like, we need a socialite, because these women are socialites, but they're like fake socialites. They're cheater socialites. They're not real socialites. And they really wanted Sonya Morgan, but Sonya Morgan was like, I'm not available. I'm too busy divorcing the Morgan. You know, Morgan from JP Chase Morgan, you know, the bank, that's my husband, and he's divorcing me, and I'm going to be broke, and I have a daughter to take care of. So they couldn't get Sonya Morgan. So Sonya Morgan's like, all right, season 1, nope. Season 2, see you later. And enter Kelly Kaloran Bensimon. And everybody remembers Kelly Kaloran Bensimon from Scary Island. And we'll get into Scary Island. But they brought her in because she was like a model, and she was young, and she was pretty, and she was a mom, and she was really successful, and she also banged a rich guy and married him. And now she's divorced, and now she's available, and she was posing for Playboy. Well, her and Bethany, as everybody remembers from watching Real Housewives of New York, they did not click at all. It was bad news bears from the get-go, right off the bat, because apparently there was a party that Bethany went to prior to the show, and it was at Kelly's house, and Bethany was like, hi, Kelly, nice to meet you. Do you want to try a Bethany Bakes cupcake? They're gluten-free and vegan. And Kelly was like, who are you? And so apparently Kelly like snubbed Bethany, and Bethany was like really heartbroken about it because she was just trying to get Kelly to eat one of her dry gluten-free cookies, and Kelly didn't want to. And to be fair, I love gluten-free cookies. I don't eat gluten or dairy. So yeah, I am that bitch. And I would have probably eaten Bethany Bakes at an Albertsons or Bristol Farms or wherever she was passing it out. So Kelly, in the book, because Kelly was interviewed for the book as well, Kelly goes on to talk about how Bethany was threatened by her because, I don't know, she was young and pretty and successful. I don't know what Kelly thought, but Kelly, goes on to talk about her being threatened and how Bethany just, didn't like her, and Bethany never gave her a fair shot from the get-go, and Bethany was down here and Kelly was up here, and she really tries hard to like get other people to believe her bullshit. Like, she really believes it. And so I think because she believes her own bullshit, Kelly Bensimon, she like tries to get other people to. But it's interesting in reading the book because Kelly's like, this is what happened. And then everybody else is like, no, this is actually what happened. So I don't believe her bullshit. And I think she lives in like La La Land, Candyland delusion world. But I don't know if anyone actually believes her bullshit other than Kelly. But then we get into season 3, and Sonya Morgan finally joins in season 3. It took not season 1, not season 2, but season 3. We finally get Sonya Morgan, and in season 3, we also get Jill versus Bethany, and that was like major because they were the BFFs. They were friends forever. Like, nobody ever thought that was going to end, and Andy was even worried that it was going to ruin the show, and he called Jill before season 3 began production. He's like, yo, bitch, you need to make this shit right with Bethany, and Jill's like, I'm not going to make it right with her, and Andy was like, you have to, or else it's going to ruin the show because the fans aren't going to want to see you have this rift because people love you together. You're Thelma and Louise. You're Lucy and Ethel. And apparently it was also during this season that Jill ended up becoming a major diva because, as we know, New York is kind of what put the Housewives on the map. Like, obviously OC was first, but New York is what really catapulted it and made it like page 6 worthy and newsworthy and New York Times worthy. And it just made it so much bigger than what the franchise originally was with OC. And so apparently Jill was a big diva and she was no longer very likable on camera as well as off camera. And the producers were like so over her and just like, we can't do this anymore. Like, Jill is such a bitch. And then we get to Scary Island, which is where the producers said was the hardest trip that they've ever had to do in Bravo history. It sounds like from what I've read in the book, and I haven't gotten into the other shows yet, but the producers all seem very clear that New York is like one of the hardest shows to produce. The women are really hard, the negotiations are really hard, and they take a really long time. And it's just, it sounds like a headache to work on this show. But anyway, we get to Scary Island and they were all like, this was the toughest trip we've ever had to film. It was so crazy. And Kelly apparently really went off the rails off camera. And we obviously saw what happened on camera. Bethany's like, go to sleep, go to sleep. Well, apparently Kelly probably didn't get sleep at all because she insists that she was just loving life. And she's like, I was just loving life and life was great. And I was, it was all, cotton candy and bubblegum and everything was great. And I was just loving life. I don't know what these girls were talking about. I can't believe these girls called me crazy. And it's like, well, bitch, you were crazy. And even the producers were like, she was crazy. And she says that she wanted to stop filming. She says that she didn't want to do it anymore. She just kept yelling the producers' names over and over. She was just yelling their names, yelling and talking about jelly beans and trying to be ridiculous and trying to break the fourth wall. She says that this was all very intentional. I don't know how true that is, but this is the world according to Kelly. And so she really believes that it was all kosher, and she really just had to leave because of childcare issues. She was telling or at least that's what she told Jill when she went home. She was like, I have childcare issues, and in the book, she's like, yeah, my babysitter canceled, and I had to go home to be with my kid because I had childcare issues. Like that's all she kept talking about. But the producers are adamant that they sent her home, that it wasn't her choice whether she had child issues or not. It wasn't her choice to go home. She was genuinely unwell, and there was a lot of stuff that happened off camera that we didn't get to see, but it was really bad. And Kelly's claiming that when the show was going to air, that she actually broke up with her boyfriend. She's like, because my boyfriend is on TV and I couldn't have him be associated with me knowing that Scary Island episodes were going to come out and it was going to be crazy. So I broke up with him to protect him. And everyone's like, okay, Kelly. And then Bethany got her spinoff and she left, and the other women were all really salty that she got her spinoff because they're all like, why does Bethany get a spinoff? Aren't we just as good? And then we enter Cindy Barship. And Cindy Barship came in, but she wasn't really a fit. Like cute. She had a spunky vibe, but she said that the girls really tried to ice her out. And in addition to Cindy Barship, they had the big cash shakeup where, well, actually, there wasn't much that happened the season that Cindy Barship was on. I'm jumping here because my notes went from Cindy Barship is in to big cash shakeup. So apparently there wasn't much that happened or that was talked about in the book about Cindy Barship's chapter. But like she was cool. But I remember she said that like they weren't very welcoming to her. They didn't like her. Ramona, every time there was a new girl in the book, is very much like, I don't know why she was brought in. I don't know why they like her. She had no personality. She was boring. Every single person that was cast, with exception for Ramona was like, I don't know why she was cast on the show, which is kind of funny, but also plays to Ramona's narcissism. So Cindy didn't work out. Kelly wasn't working out anymore, so they were easily fired. And this is when we had the big cast shakeup where they fired half of the cast. So Cindy and Kelly were easy outs. And then Alex, who was an OG, Alex Mccord, she was fired because apparently she came off as inauthentic and she didn't have any fans left on her side. Nobody really liked her anymore. She seemed very self-produced. This was the season that I think she was like, I found my voice this season. And everyone's like, bitch, no, you didn't. So they fired her. And then apparently after they fired them, Alex and Simon then went on this like major social media rampage and they were trolling like the Watch What Happens Live guests, and they were tweeting about the episodes and like trying to break the fourth wall and being like, here's the tea on what happened during this episode and this is what you didn't see on camera. And Alex was doing like a vlog because she thought she was like Tyler Oakley or something, and she was like, hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. And they were blasting Bravo ratings. They had like a whole website dedicated towards blasting Bravo ratings. And they just went out really bad. And it was really salty and just like, oof, not a good look. Worse than Vicky Gunvalson. Jesus Christ. Then we enter 3 newbies. And first up, we have Heather Holla Thompson. And then we had Aviva One-Legged Drescher. And then we had Carol Princess Radswell. And they all come into the picture, and the veterans did not like them at all. And Ramona says that none of them had any personality, just like nobody that was new, aside from Dorinda, everyone had no personality. And Sonya says that she didn't like them because they all went to bed at 9 o'clock. And who the fuck goes to bed at 9 o'clock? Which, bitch, I go to bed at 9 o'clock. Well, technically I go to bed by 10 o'clock, but I like to be in like bed mode by 9 o'clock. So, she says that she just didn't like that they weren't very party girls, but then the producers come in and they're like, well, these were like real women with like real careers, and like, yeah, they were tired by 9 p.m. Their life didn't revolve around the show. But they all were like, Aviva came in and she came in with an agenda, and she was the villain, and she wanted to be the villain, and she would play it up, and it's not who she really was off camera. She just wanted to be on the show, and she tried out for the show before and they wouldn't get her on, and then finally she ended up coming on because Bethany said that they needed to get her on because she had slept with, or all of the housewives slept with her ex-husband, and she had one leg, and that, how would that not be amazing television? And it was amazing television. Aviva was batshit crazy. And then we get into season 6, and this is where Luann got demoted, which was like a major hit to her ego. But apparently Luann was a major diva behind the scenes. She was very non-committal with filming, so they ended up cutting her or demoting her, not cutting her altogether, but bringing her down, which really, we all know Luann has a big ego, so that really hurt her. But like they said that like they would try to book like manicures and pedicures that she was supposed to film, and then she'd be like at the last minute, I'm not going to get a manicure after all. And they're like, how is it that fucking hard to like book you to get a manicure and film it on camera? And she was just very wishy-washy. So she was a major diva, just like Jill Zarin was back in her season 3. And obviously we know Jill was let go because she was also a major diva, and the fans just could no longer connect to her. Then we have come in Kristin Pretty Takeman, who Ramona also hated. Shocker. And Kristin was brought in by Brandi Glanville, who's a longtime friend. They've known each other forever. Brandi Glanville was on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, and she told Andy at one of the embassy upfronts, she's like, you need to have Kristin on Real Housewives of New York. She's your next housewife of New York. And then lo and behold, Brandi Glanville was right, because Andy Cohen ended up casting Kristin Takeman as one of the new housewives of New York City. And not only that, but Andy's like, Brandi knows what it takes to be a good housewife, so we trust Brandi's judgment. And I was like, okay, cool. But this season was also the season where Aviva really flew off the rails, and she came after Carol for the whole ghostwriter, writer girl, that whole thing. And she apparently still believes that Carol had a ghostwriter, and even in the book, Ramona's like, yeah, I did hear that she had a ghostwriter. She probably did. And Ramona's just like salty about everybody in this book. And then she threw the leg at the end of the season, and that was supposed to be like her last attempt at trying to save herself on the show. But it was just like at that point, she was already done. Like she had lost the audience. She came off as completely inauthentic. And the leg toss was really just the nail in the coffin, because it was kind of the way to be like, all right, this was a really great scene, and now we can exit stage left. And so they ended up kicking her to the curb. And then brought the return of Bethany. They had the whole campaign, the return of the B. The B is back. And then we introduced Dorinda, and then we returned Luann to her full-time status. Great. Luann's back. She earned her way back. She was really salty about being demoted, and she was like, I filmed just as much as all of them, and I can't believe they demoted me, and they didn't give me an opening credit, and blah, 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 blah. But, like, you have to read the book, though, because it's really good, because the dialogue is so good. Like, Ramona's like, oh, she had to come back. Or when in reference to Bethany, Ramona was like, oh, Bethany had to come back. Her talk show failed. Her marriage failed. She had nothing else going for her. I'm disappointed that Bethany didn't interview for the book, because I feel like Bethany would have given us some really good juice as well. But Carol was actually probably the most unfiltered. Carol gave, as my friend Jess, who hosts Hot Takes and Deep Dives, she says that Carol gave the best performance in the book, and it was great, because Carol like just does not hold back at all. But anyway, all the OGs hated that Bethany was back. They were super upset that she was coming back and was going to steal all of the camera time and was going to be the main star. And so they were all kissing their ass. And Heather Hella Thompson was like, I don't understand how everyone behind the scenes is talking crap about Bethany coming back. And yet on the camera, everyone's like, ooh, Bethany, ooh, Bethany, ooh, Bethany. And then we get to the townhouse moment where Sonya wouldn't let the women inside. And that was like major drama. And this is where Heather talks about the cigarettes in Sonya's vagina, because she was like, I can't believe that Sonya Morgan left us sitting outside in the rain and it was cold and we just wanted to come inside. But Sonya was like, I couldn't let them come inside because I was just talking to my sister and like or my cousin, and she just lost somebody. And I was so sad that they had just lost somebody, and I couldn't let people in my house. And then Heather was like, and Sonya was like, they could wait in the car. Bravo got them all breakfast. And then Heather's like, we couldn't wait late in the car because the car hadn't arrived yet. And like the dialogue going between all of these women, God, I have a hair on my eyelash. The dialogue between them is just, it's funny. It's hysterical. It's way better than the dialogue in Real Houses of Orange County. I love this dynamic. Obviously, the interviews were done, I believe, separately, but like just the back and forth of the excerpts from the interviews is gold. But anyway, this is where Heather's like, I can't believe that she left us outside. Like, I've picked her up from the floor and I've done, all these things to help Sonya. And I've helped, men were putting cigarettes in her vagina and I would like make them stop and took her out. And like, it's crazy, which when I was reading it, it read very innocuously. Like, had it not been such a sensationalized headline in the press and the big uproar from woke Twitter, like I don't think anybody would have read much into it. I think it was the press that blew it out of proportion, probably because Leah posted about it on her Instagram story. So that made it like, a big thing. And then everybody on Twitter probably didn't even read the fucking book and they were stirring up about how Sonya had been sexually assaulted. I highly doubt Heather Holla Thompson, of all people, is one to endorse sexual assault or make fun or make light of sexual assault. And since Sonya hasn't claimed assault or leaned into that narrative either, like I feel like, Sonya herself has laughed it off and was like, oh, it was a drunken, silly night. So I think at this point, like we need to let that mouse go. Like it's not what everybody on Twitter was trying to make it out to be. I think the press just blew it out of proportion and then it just snowballed from there. And then we introduced Jules, and Jules was the half Japanese and half Jewish housewife. And I don't know how she didn't get more credit for that, for at least being half Japanese, because I don't know, that was like the first time we were actually introducing diversity into Real Housewives of New York. But I guess back then it wasn't a thing to make it a thing that we were introducing diversity, whereas now it's a thing. But I mean, it's not that Jules was that interesting anyway. But I think Dorinda was like, she should have been a housewife longer. We didn't get enough time with her. But that's about as interesting as Jules got. And then we get into the whole Luann and Tom and, how Tom had dated Ramona and he was a longtime fuck buddy of Sonya's and he would take her home for the holidays and he was talking about marriage and apparently he told her that he wanted to marry her or talked about marriage with her, which eluded her to believe that he wanted to marry her. And all the women are claiming that the whole, is it about Tom? Tell me it's not about Tom. Like that whole moment where Bethany exposes Tom cheating. Apparently they're saying that Bethany set that whole thing up with Tom cheating at the Regency and kissing some other woman. But did she actually set up Tom cheating? First of all, can we blame Bethany for Tom cheating? No. Did she actually set up the cheating? Not necessarily, but it looks more like she set up the catching him in the cheating. Like he's still a cheater and he still cheated and cheaters cheat and he's the man and you can't blame Bethany for the actions of Tom. But Bethany apparently knew the woman or knew someone that knew the woman that was meeting Tom. And so she's like, next time you meet him at the Regency, let me know. And so the woman's like, okay, I'm going to be at the Regency meeting Tom. So then Bethany sent like a friend or an assistant to the Regency to catch it on a photo. That way they can have concrete proof to give that to Luann. Like you can blame the person that caught it for the actions. You can't blame the person that caught it for the actions of the person that did it. So the only person that I think is responsible in all of this is Tom, because if Tom didn't want to make out with another woman because he had a fiance, then Tom didn't have to make out with another woman. It gave Luann the concrete proof that Luann didn't even listen to. And then we get into the Barbara hot mic moment. Barbara, her. We get into her hot mic moment where she was talking shit about Luann and Tom. And she claims that Carol set her up and that Carol knew that she still had her mic and she knew that the mic was on. Apparently the cameras had already wrapped at that point. So Barbara's like, how do you not know if the cameras have wrapped? How do you still have your mic and how do you still have it on? And so she feels like Carol set her up to get played on the show. Carol's like, I had no idea. Completely, the cameras were down. I didn't realize we were still on. And to be fair, Carol was still kind of new to it and never really had a hot mic moment. So I don't know. But according to Barbara, Luann sold the wedding exclusive to People magazine, and that's why she had to go through with it. She was like, I have to get married to Tom because I already sold it to People. And Zach, I'm waiting on my stickers. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Hi, yes, Alicia. Yes, I will make sure you get some stickers. DM me to remind me, please. Please DM me to remind me. It was a long week. Damn it, you guys are distracting me. They get mad when I get distracted on the comments. So Luann sold her wedding exclusive, which is why Bravo didn't film it. She sold it to People magazine, and that's why Barbara was like, she sold it to People, and now like, what's she gonna do? She's like, but they're two narcissists, and it's never gonna work out, and they can do this whole fake thing for People, but like, it's not gonna work out in the long run. They probably would have dated for 6 months, and then it would have been done. And then we enter, and obviously we know that the marriage didn't work out. They ended up getting divorced, and it was this whole thing. Then we entered Tinsley, who also was not interviewed for the book. She turned down an interview. But according to Sonya, when Tinsley moved in, or Tinsley was originally moving in before she was even brought into the show, Sonya's like, obviously you're having a hard time in Florida. Like, you need to come out to New York, stay with me. I'll take care of you. And apparently Tinsley was broke and on the hunt for a rich man, which many of the women claim was what was happening. She didn't have any money, which made me think, well, what happened to all of her family money? But apparently she was on the hunt for a rich man and she needed money, which is why she ended up joining Real Housewives of New York. So when Sonya invited her to come stay at her house, she's like, can you get me on Real Housewives of New York? Because I've been trying to get on and they won't have me on. And Sonya's like, well, I need an ally. I can convince them that you're going to be my ally this season and I'll bring you on. And Carol thought that she was just boozy and emotionally crazy enough to date her rich friend Scott because she wanted a rich man and Scott liked boozy and emotionally crazy women. So she was like, this will be a match made in heaven. And they apparently were for a hot second. And so Carol also says that Tinsley has no layers to her. I'm telling you, like, Carol really goes hard at everybody in the book. Like, for somebody that, you know, is so above Housewives, she like gets really salty about everybody. They also, all of the women really dragged Bethany consistently throughout it, and how she was manipulative and she set up the whole Tom thing and she always had to have a skinny girl there and skinny girl product placement always had to be in there, and how Bethany didn't even have a real business. She had a bunch of licensing deals, which isn't really a real business, and she didn't even have a real headquarters. She had an apartment that two of her assistants worked out of, and it was a cute skinny girl museum, but it wasn't a real office. And then they dragged Bethany for being at Bobby's funeral. Because as you remember, they filmed Bobby's funeral, which originally all of us were under the impression that Jill invited them. And I believe Jill at one point said, I invited a production there. Well, now in the book, Jill's like, cameras just showed up that day. They just happened to be there. But Lisa Shannon, who's a producer, she says that Jill's rep actually called production and they're like, hey, Jill knows that Bobby was a really important part of the show. If you want to film, you can film. Obviously, they ended up filming, but Bethany was the only one that ended up showing up with the cameras, and they all claimed that it was calculated, and Bethany's so evil, and how dare her show up to a funeral to film her walking into the funeral because it's a funeral and a man's dead, and it's not about the show, and Ramona and Dorinda definitely didn't want the cameras around, but they didn't specify whether Sonya and Luann were okay with the cameras. They were just clear that Dorinda and Ramona wanted no cameras. But Jill even says that she thinks that it was a calculated move because since they have reconciled, Bethany has apparently blocked her number. But Andy mentions that, you know, there was a time when Bethany brought Bryn to meet Jill and that was all off camera. So it seems like the resolution that came of it was genuine on Bethany's side. Andy really defends Bethany in the book. And he says that it seemed like, you know, because she had this off-camera moment with Jill and they talked everything out and she got to meet Bryn, that seems like that made him think that the reconciliation was genuine because it wasn't on camera like everyone else claimed. They're like, oh, Bethany only does things for the camera. So he says that Bethany genuinely wanted to pay her respects, but she was just smart enough to know that it was going to be a moment for the show, and why miss that opportunity? Obviously, the press was going to be out, so they were going to try and capture it. Why not let Bravo jump in on that? Bethany knew that it was going to be a good moment for the show. They talk about the producers talk about how Bethany, well, I guess some of the cast too, about how difficult Bethany was to schedule things with, but the producers, again, really have Bethany's back. The producers spoke very highly of Bethany and of Tinsley. Sonya also backs Bethany up a bit, but Ramona and Carol really come at her hard about how, you know, she just played by her own rules, and if she had to leave early, she was going to leave early, and if she was going to be able to make it at the last minute to an event, she just didn't show up. Luann's hardly interviewed in the book. Like, she has little snippets here and there, but I was like shocked that Luann really didn't have much going on in the book. And then we get into the whole boat ride from hell. And the women were really scared, and Dorinda thought that she was going to die that day. Dorinda's like, oh my God, I'm going to die. This is the end of it. The waves were really choppy, and they were all really scared. And Andy's like, oh, you know, I know that it was a bad time, but we made sure we gave them a spa day afterwards to make sure everything was all good and better. Which Okay, a spa day is going to fix almost losing your life. But okay, Andy tries to downplay it, but all the women really are like, it was terrible. We got a parasite afterwards. It was the worst thing ever. There's also a lot of tension between Andy and Carol in the book. So even in their interviews, like they go back and forth at each other, which is really weird. They each like throw jabs at each other. But Andy says that Carol really changed that last season. And even Heather says that Carol really changed and that her life became so focused around Housewives and her identity became being a housewife. Whereas at the beginning, she was more of like, this is just a social experiment. I'm doing it for fun. We'll see where it goes. I don't know. But the fact that Heather and Andy are both saying this, being that Heather is Carol's friend, obviously we know Andy has more of an acrimonious relationship with Carol, but that's similar to the narrative that Bethany was painting that season, was that how Carol had changed. She wasn't the person that she was when she came on the show, which tends to happen, and how she lost that authenticity, and that ultimately ended up being Carol's exit, and that they knew going into that reunion that Carol wasn't going to be coming back for the next season, that she was really mean, she was really angry, she was really difficult to work with. And all of the producers didn't enjoy working with her because there was just a lot of tension with her. She was just very angry and very like diva-ish. Then we get into Barbara Kay, who actually had a full-time contract coming into it, and she did the whole photo shoot and the opening credit and the apple at the beginning, and she ended up getting cut down at the last minute, and she was really sad about that. She's like, they filmed with my mom, and they filmed with my son, and they filmed at my job, and I'm so heartbroken, but I was just trying to be a good friend to Luann, but that ended up biting me in the ass. And then we talk about Luann's cabaret. Oh, the cabaret. Life is not a cabaret. You're a sicko. And then we talk about Bethany's exit, which apparently was over a contract dispute. So Bethany came out and she's like, it wasn't about money, and I wanted to leave on my own. She made it seem like she made a knee-jerk decision to leave Housewives. But apparently, according to Andy Cohen, it wasn't that. It was that there was something that she wanted in her contract that Andy knew from the get-go she was not going to be getting. And Bravo wasn't willing to budge. The production company wasn't willing to budge. It sounds to me like it had to have been something more than money. Maybe it was like a producer credit. Like it had to have been something big that she really wanted, that she was like, I'm going to get this. And they were just like, no, you're not going to get this. And so it was really over a contract dispute. She wanted something that the network just wasn't willing to cave in on. And so she ended up leaving. But Andy said he knew from the very beginning of that summer that she probably wasn't going to be coming back because of what she was asking for. But nobody discloses what the fuck she was actually asking for. Then we introduced Leah as her replacement, Leah McSweeney. And apparently Ramona and Sonya, shocker, didn't like Leah. Or actually, Sonya liked her. Ramona didn't like her. And neither Sonya nor Ramona liked Leah's sister. Apparently, Leah's sister was like really awful behind the scenes, according to them. Bethany is the reason Leah ended up getting brought on the show. Apparently, Bethany saw her Instagram and thought she was really cool. And she was like, Leah Mob, you need to bring on Leah Mob. She's really cool. And they had the same facialist, so she recommended that before she ended up leaving, that they bring in Leah, and Leah worked out. This is also Tinsley's farewell season. But the producers were adamant that they were totally cool with her leaving and releasing her from her contract, that she was like, I'll come back and film, or you can film some of me in Chicago, like whatever you want to do. I'll fly back and forth if you need me to, like, just let me know. And they were kind of like, you know what? No, go, do you, boo, live your best life. We're good. Apparently they were good. And she even flew back. She did all her interviews. She did the reunion. They said that she was very professional about it, despite Dorinda being like, oh, this ruined our show, blah, 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 blah. Dorinda, on the other hand, apparently said that she was trying to be the new Bethany. And she even said, I'm going to be the new Bethany this season now that Bethany's gone. And she ended up really shooting herself in the foot and ruining her opportunity, because she ended up coming very distasteful and disingenuous and angry and bitter on the show. And so the producers were like, all right, she needs to take some time off. She needs a break. She needs to take a year off. And then we brought in Ebony. And that's a whole other 70 pages in and of itself. That's what I want to know, is the true Hollywood story about what happened when they brought Ebony in, and what happened behind the scenes of that season, and what happened at the end, and why the reunion was canceled. Obviously, we have now heard that it was because of a complaint that Ebony filed against Ramona, but that's all here, and we're still here on Not All Diamonds and Rosé. All right. Thoughts. Oh, also cheers, everybody. I have the Mention It All Rosé today, nofilterwine.com if anybody wants to try it. I'm not saying to go and buy it. Instagram, if anybody is going to have a drink, obviously always drink responsibly. But I mean, hello, if you're going to do it, make sure it's No Filter Wine at nofilterwine.com. Housewives Inspired Rosé, 14% alcohol by volume. I'm ready to mention it all. Inspired by New York. Yeah, and she shades the book. Oh yeah, Bethany definitely shades the book. Excellent review, Zack. Thank you so much, Wit. Oh my God, so sweet. Are you guys flip a table? It's not flip. Oh, you're drinking flip a table tonight. Yes, Suki. Get it, girl. Get it, girl. To the front, to the right, to the back, girl. It's your night. Seems like I don't need to buy the book. Why not? It's so fun. It's actually really fun to read if you want to buy it. Not that I should even be endorsing it because Bravo didn't even let me interview Dave Quinn on my podcast. Okay. Wow, great recap, Zack. You're spot on, Lovey. Aw, thank you guys. I really appreciate all the love. Thank you, Suki Dinton 2018 for the 3 badges. That's right, Suki. Looking so fly. We so fly. No lie. You know this. Cheers. I know you're drinking flip a table. Cheers, my love. Organized on a dime. Thank you for the love. Thank you for the badge. Suze 9067. Thank you for the 3 badges, Suze. You know I love those 3 badges. When you hit me with the 3 badges, I'm like, yeah. Whitney Grant with the badge. What's going on, Whitney? How you doing, my love? I hope you're having a wonderful night. Tina Marie Bells. Tina Marie, are you going to win quiz time tonight? Tina Marie, you've been killing it, girl. You have been killing it. Tina Marie's already stocked up on 2 of those limited edition merch items. Critty Trina, 3 stars. Thank you, Critty Trina. Thank you so much, my love. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Bethany's life was built by Bravo and she's tearing them down. Yeah, I don't love that either. Who does Brielle have to blow to get that wine to Michigan? I know. I wish we could ship the wine to Michigan. I really wish we could. I'm sorry, guys. Michigan's just a total twat when it comes to importing alcohol from out of state. Okay, are we ready for quiz time? Let's get to it and do it. Boobies, bump it. Bump it. Bump it. Okay. Are we ready? Dun, 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 dun. Tonight we have 12 questions. Ready? Okay. Let me make sure I have my notes ready to take. Okay. Question number 1. Are you ready? All you sucker MCs ain't got nothing on me. Ooh, Florida in the house. The wine ships to Florida, boo. Check it out. NoFilterWine.com. Okay, question number 1. What was the original title for The Real Housewives of New York? What was the original title for The Real Housewives of New York? Do 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 do. Do. Yes, Jet Carrie G, Manhattan Moms, just Carrie G. Carrie G. Wow, Carrie, are you a newbie tonight? Or have you just been flying under the radar? Yes, guys. Manhattan Moms, Manhattan Moms, Manhattan Moms. Twice of New York City? I don't think that's correct. Manhattan Moms, yes, that is correct. Manhattan Moms is correct, but Carrie G got it. Just Carrie G. Oh, hey. Newbie, I love it. Welcome, Carrie G. You already got our first point. Look, you're already killing it. You're winning book club already. Point number 1 goes to Carrie G. My nose gets so itchy. I have nose hairs, and then they grow, and then it gets itchy. Okay, question number 2. Who was the first person cast for Manhattan Moms? Who was the breakout star that the producers were like, we need to have a show about this? Who was it? The first person cast. Dun, dun, dun. Jill Satin. Yes. I think you meant Jill Zarin and it corrected you to Jill Satin. Carrie G. Damn. Carrie G came to play. Carrie G, you a G. You came in ready. It was not Bethany. It was not Bethany. I didn't even read the book yet. Oh, girl, well, that's what we're here for. You can get my recaps. Carrie G is really in it to win it. She's killing it tonight, you guys. She's already won the first 2 points, and it's her first night. Tina Marie, Gossip in a Glass, Ansley, y'all should be ashamed if Carrie G is already coming in and she's in it to win it. I'm tipsy, but I'm playing. I love it, Suki. Cheers, my love. Flip that table. She's killing it. Go, Carrie. Go, Carrie. Hi, Alicia. Okay. Question number 3. Andy was against casting Bethany because she was already on which reality show? Andy was against casting Bethany because she was on which reality show? Do. Itchy nose means money's coming your way. Is that what it means? Because my nose has been so itchy, but I always think it's because of my nose hairs. I need more than just The Apprentice. Which apprentice was it? You need to specify. It wasn't the regular apprentice. It was not the regular apprentice. It was the apprentice. Chris O'Shea, apprentice with Martha. I guess that's the closest we've gotten. Apprentice with Martha. Chris O'Shea got it. Yes, it was with Martha Stewart, but I needed the full answer because she wasn't on The Apprentice. She was on The Apprentice Martha Stewart. So I'm giving that point to Chris O'Shea. Dun, dun, dun. See, Gossip in a Glass got it. Gossip, you just needed to be the first one. It was not Celebrity Apprentice. It's definitely not Celebrity Apprentice because Bethany was not a celebrity. Okay, question number 4. Oh, sorry. Yeah, question number 4. Dun, dun, dun. What season did Sonya actually join Real Housewives? Everybody knows that Sonya feels like she was part of the first season, but what season did she actually join in on? That's right, Critty Trina. Critty Trina got it. Also, guys, I know some of you are like, I answered first. Hey, it was not season 6 or season 4. Definitely, yes, my boy Ollie. Yes, Gossip in a Glass, season 3. I know some of you guys are like, I answered first. That they stole my point. They stole my goddamn point. I go based off of how Instagram filters it. I know sometimes people type it and their answer appears before their app has loaded to show other people's answers. It's what Instagram tells me. So I'm sorry, guys. I mean, if theirs is coming up before me, I don't know if it's the connection on your end, but I go based off of what Instagram filters at the top. And sometimes they come in at the same time, but one ends up coming before the other, which means they were likely typed at the same time, maybe a second off. Okay, question number 5. Why was Alex Mccord fired from the show? What was the reason that Alex Mccord was fired from the show? Dun, dun, dun. Some of these questions are getting harder. Harder than Manhattan Moms. Why was Alex Mccord fired from the show? Her shoes. It should have been her shoes, Ansley. It should have been her shoes. Her hair. Oh my God, you guys are salty. She made a racist comment. I don't think that was true. Was it? Whitney, you got it right. Whitlove, she was inauthentic. Whitlove. Dang, we have an eclectic mix. We have Carrie G with 2 points, Chris with 1 point, Critty Trina with 1 point, and Whit with 1 point. Dang. I love the original answers, though. I feel like Ansley and Duchess of Del Mar deserve something for saying her shoes and her hair, because that was pretty great. Yes, she was inauthentic. Her husband, oh my God, I feel like her husband needed to be on the show a lot longer, to be honest with you. Okay, question number 6. We are halfway there, guys. Halfway to the finish line. When Kelly Ben-Simone left Scary Island, what excuse did she give Jill as to why she was leaving? Or what was the excuse that she claimed, which she also gave Jill at the airport? But she said she was leaving because of what? Producer said she was leaving because oh, that's right. Damn, Carrie G. Carrie, were you taking notes? Carrie G either has a great memory or she was taking some great notes, because Carrie G has got it down. Child's care is correct. The correct answer was because of her child care. It was not because of her boyfriend, but she did break up with her boyfriend as a result of Scary Island. Okay, next question. Carrie G, I need to know if you're taking notes, because you've got a great memory. Question number 7. Wow, we're more than halfway there. Question number 7. What housewife was responsible for getting Kristin Pretty Takeman on the show? Kristin. She's the one with her husband on Ashley Madison. There was a housewife from another city that ended up getting her cast on the show. Who was it? Brandi Glanville. That is correct. It was not Heather. It was not Sonya. It was definitely Brand. Ooh, who typed it first? Carrie G. Carrie G. Carrie, you are killing it tonight. You're not even giving anybody another chance. You are just slaying it. Yes, it was Brandi. It was not Bethany. As you can see, I did not take notes tonight. Yeah, Ansley, I can tell you did not take. Normally, you guys come with your spreadsheets and your list of notes ready. All right, next question. Question number 8. Who was accused of setting up the photo op of Luann's fiance kissing another woman? So when Tom was caught kissing another woman, who was accused of setting that up? I need to sit next to Carrie so I can cheat. That's funny. Yeah, we got to take notes. It was way too fast. Bethany, wow, Ansley, you got it, girl. Ansley got the point. Ansley's answer was the first one to pop up. That is correct. It was Bethany Frankel. She was accused of setting it all up. She's an evil mastermind and she drank her Skinny Girl. Now I want some Skinny Girl. All this talk of Skinny Girl made me crave Skinny Girl. I guess that's smart. Smart marketing, Bethany. Okay, question number 9. 9 out of 12. Question number 9. Why did Luann, according to Barbara Kravitz, it wasn't Kravitz, it was Coxtovix or Coxix, I don't know. According to Barbara, why did Luann feel obligated to marry Tom? Dun, dun, dun. Why did she feel obligated to marry Tom? Sold her wedding to people. That's right, Gossip in a Glass. She sold it to people. I said this one like 15 times. So hopefully you guys remember that one. Okay, question number 10. Which housewife was caught in not just one, but 2 hot mic moments that ultimately led to her getting fired? Which housewife was caught in not one, but 2 hot mic moments that ultimately got her fired from the show? Do-do-do. Do-do-do. It was not Carol. Carol was involved in one of them, though. It wasn't Carol. It wasn't Carol. Barbara, that's right. Whitney got it right. Right before Gossip. Hold on one sec, guys. Hold on, guys. One sec. Okay. Sorry. Let's see. Question number 10. Are we ready? Question number 10. Oh, yeah, that was right. Did I skip one? Brandi, Bethany, sold it to people. Oh, it was Barbara. Who got Barbara? Oh, shit. Sorry. I didn't write down who got. Oh, Whit got it, right? Yes, Whit got it correctly. All right, Whit, you got it, boo. You got it, boo. Okay. Question number 11. We only have 2 left. Question number 11. Are you ready? Are you ready? What was the real reason Bethany didn't return? What was the real reason Bethany didn't return to the Housewives? What was the reason? Was it Irish breakdown? Oh my God. Negotiations, contract, divorce? Wow. These answers are all over the place. Yes, it was contract negotiations. Negotiations, sure. I'll give it to negotiations. It was a contract dispute, but yeah, we'll give it to negotiations because you were the first person to answer. Carrie G got it. Carrie G, negotiations, that is correct. It was contract dispute. It wasn't over money. which was the rumor in the press that it was all about the money, and it wasn't about the money. It was literally a contract dispute, negotiation dispute. I wonder if it was like you need I wonder if it was like you need to like guarantee that Skinny Girl is going to be on the show, you know? Like, I still don't know what the contract, like what she actually wanted. Okay, final question. Which housewife said that they were going to be the new Bethany after she left? There was one housewife that claimed that she was going to be the new Bethany. Who was it? You hinted producer. What producer? What did I hint? It was not Leah. Dorinda, that's right, Wit. Wow, Wit's coming on up. Wit, it was Dorinda. Dorinda. Yes, Molly. Yes, Tina. Wow. Tina, you didn't get 1 point tonight, girl. I'm disappointed in you. You've been killing it week after week. All right. The final, it was not Tinsley. Okay, final score. So we have Chris with 1 point. Critty Trina with 1 point. Ansley with 1 point. Gossip in a Glass with 1 point. And Wit with 3 points. But Carrie G came in with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points. Wow. Carrie G is in it to win it. Carrie G is a newbie, first week in book club, and she came in with 5 points. Like she didn't even need to learn how quiz time worked. She came in and was like, boom, 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 bada bang. Holla. Congrats, Carrie G. You won some merch. We got some new merch for Carrie G. You won our Tea Spilling Professional t-shirt. Tea Spilling Professional, that's what you are. So you will get a Tea Spilling Professional t-shirt. DM me the size of shirt that you want and your address. Size, I understood the assignment. I understood the assignment. I understood the assignment. The pressure of getting 3 wins in a row. I know. Who got the 3 wins? Someone ended up getting the 3 wins in a row, right? Was it Gossip in a Glass? Someone ended up winning consistently and ended up getting the... Oh, thank you, Organized on a Dime. Thank you for loving my shirt tonight. Someone ended up winning the case of wine. I sent a 12-pack of wine. Congrats, guys. Congrats, Carrie. Congrats, Chris. Congrats, Trina, Wit, Ansley, Gossip in a Glass. Thank you guys for playing. I won 3 times in a row. Yes, it was Gossip in a Glass. It was. I'm begging stickers. If I promised to send you guys stickers last week, sorry, I'm a one-man show at the moment. So they have not been sent out yet, but they should be sent out. I will get them mailed out tomorrow. If I said that I was going to give you some last week, please re-DM me your address. The DM, sometimes I'll get filtered out, and I'm sorry I lost them. Please just DM me again and be like, yo, bitch, you said you were going to send me some stickers. Send me some stickers. So I will send you some stickers. And since Wit was the runner-up, I'm going to give Wit some stickers too, because Wit was tonight's runner-up. So Wit, you'll get a pack of stickers as well. I know. Currently, I'm a one-man show, and I'm trying to juggle it all. But I promise I'll make sure stickers get sent out this week. Typo, gold medal holder. You said you were going to send me some for my 30th on Monday. Yes. If I said that I was going to send you some, just please DM me your address one more time. The DMs get lost sometimes. I'm sorry. That's not me trying to do a humble brag moment. I literally am trying to keep up between taping 4 or 5 times a week and reading book club, and it's been a day, or it's been a time. What a time to be alive. But yes, if I promised you stickers, just please DM me again tonight, and I'll make sure that those get sent out tomorrow. Wow. Thank you, guys. You feel old. Don't feel old. You're 30. I'm 28. Girl, you are not old. We are not old. That is not happening. We are ageless by Ramona. But see, do you ship stickers and t-shirts internationally? Merch will be shipped internationally. Yes. Merch will be shipped internationally. Stickers aren't, I think stickers are, the stickers will be used in wine purchases in the future. The stickers, I'll make sure everyone that orders wine will get the stickers for free. The stickers aren't for sale though. Oh, thank you. But yes, when merch goes on sale November 18th. So we will do, since we go live that night, it is a Thursday, we go live, we'll do like an HSN shopping party that night, and everyone that orders merch will do like fun shout outs and stuff. So that'll be a fun night. November 18th is when the new merch goes on sale. We have the Zack Pack t-shirts. We have Zack Pack sweaters, Tea-Spilling Professional t-shirts, no filter caps. They're like black denim caps. They're really cute. It's like a faded black denim cap that says no filter with Zack Peter. And then we have the Liddy City tank tops, which I know some of you guys got as well, where it says Liddy City, and it's a fun little cute little tank top vibe. But all right. Thank you guys. Got to find a way to ship internationally. I can't ship the wine internationally, but the merch does ship internationally. Yes, the merch will ship internationally. Oh, thank you, Suki. Thank you, Ansley. Merch night will be fun. We have to do something fun for merch night in addition to just, merch being on sale. I will do a brief after party. I do have plans tonight. So we will do a brief after party. Give me like 10 minutes because I have to like call somebody and or give me 5 minutes. I always do after party on my personal account, which is at Just Plain Zack. Let me wrap up the YouTube. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Love you guys for chatting with me on the YouTube. Please hit that subscribe button. Please hit that like button, or smash that like button, and hit that bell notification button. That way all the tea is always spilled fresh in your inbox. We go live every Tuesday nights on Instagram, 6:30 p.m. Pacific, 9:30 Eastern. We also go live and do Thirsty Thursday tea spilling on Thursday nights, 6:30 p.m. Pacific, 9:30 Eastern. Both of them end up getting re-uploaded or rebroadcast and uploaded on YouTube the next day. So thank you guys for listening and supporting the podcast and tuning in here on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button. That way you're always up to date. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Mwah, love you, mean it.